Leah squatted in the backyard grass, her fingertip just brushing something fluffy. Whoa, it was a squirrel no bigger than her thumb, wearing a tiny cowboy hat. The squirrel suddenly stood up straight, planted its paws on its hips, and shouted, "Help us! The memory light has been stolen!" Leah nearly fell backward in shock. Could toys actually talk? Nut pulled on Leah's sleeve, pointing deep into the grass. Hidden, there was a wooden door the size of a palm, carved with the crooked words, Toy Kingdom. Small things have big courage. Leah took a deep breath and followed Nut through the door. And in the next second, she shrank down to the size of a toy. Here, grass blades were like trees, dewdrops like glass marbles, and a few stuffed bunnies sighed around a wilted giant daisy, their eyes red. "Without the memory light, we'll forget the smell of our owners and fade away," Nut said softly, his voice trembling with tears. Leah squatted down to hug Nut. "Don't worry. We'll get it back." She felt in her pocket and pulled out her treasured mini flashlight, her secret weapon. Nut's eyes lit up. Light. The thief is afraid of light. It must be hiding in the darkest bramble cave. The two set off at once, the pebbles under their feet shaking slightly. After just 2 steps, a stuffed bear jumped out from behind the grass, blocking their path. It was missing one button eye and looked fierce. "Who are you? Are you the thief's accomplice?" The bear growled. Leah waved her hands hastily. "We're here to save the kingdom. Small things have big courage." The bear froze, then sighed suddenly. "I'm sorry. I was too anxious. I know the way to the cave. I'll lead you." On the way, they found a tin frog stuck, its spring legs tangled in vines, croaking nonstop, its voice like a rusty little bell. Leah carefully untied the vines, and the tin frog jumped up suddenly, nearly knocking off Nut's cowboy hat. "Haha, what a clumsy little thing. I'll be your guide." The stones in the cave glow. The tin frog hopped ahead, its spring legs making a click-clack sound. Inside the cave, a cool breeze blew. Small stones on the walls sparkled like stars, and Nut clung tightly to Leah's sleeve. He was a little afraid of the dark. Suddenly, a rustling sound came from ahead. The tin frog jumped onto the bear's back in an instant, hiding completely. "Come out, we see you," Leah shouted, shining the flashlight, and there was a little mouse holding stolen buttons. Scared, the mouse dropped the buttons and ran. Leah reached out and grabbed its tail, soft and fluffy like cotton candy. "I'm not the thief. The memory light was taken by a big shadow," the mouse pleaded, its voice tiny and thin. The bear picked up a button and fastened it back into his eye socket. "So that's it. The big shadow is afraid of noise. Let's shout together. Small things have big courage. Small things have big courage," they shouted together, their voices echoing in the cave, shaking pebbles loose from the walls. Suddenly, a low growl came from deep in the cave, and a dark shadow darted out. It had no face, just a mass of blackness, clutching golden light in its claws. Leah turned on the flashlight at once, shining the bright beam at the shadow. The shadow screamed and shrank back, nearly dropping the memory light. The tin frog jumped at the shadow, kicking it with its spring legs. The shadow yelped in pain, letting go of the light, which floated upward. The mouse jumped up to grab the light but nearly fell. Leah reached out and caught it, holding it safely in her palm. Angry, the shadow lunged. The bear spread its arms to block it. "Take the light and go. I'll hold it off." The bear's fabric crumpled as the shadow brushed past. "We're not leaving without you," Leah shouted. The memory light suddenly glowed brighter, forcing the shadow to step back again and again. The shadow let out one last scream, dissolving into tiny black specks that drifted away. They'd defeated it. Everyone cheered. The memory light drifted down into Leah's palm, warm like a little sun. The stones in the cave glowed even brighter. "Hurry back. Sunset's coming and the door will close," Nut shouted suddenly. Everyone raced out of the cave, hurrying along. Outside the cave, the Toy Kingdom's flowers and grass were already fading. 1 minute later, and it would be too late. Leah held up the memory light, shouting, "Return to your homes." The light spread out, touching every flower and toy. The bear's fabric became brand new. The tin frog's spring legs no longer rusted, and the mouse's fur turned smooth. The kingdom was alive again. "The door's over there," Nut pointed to the grass. But Leah suddenly realized she was starting to grow. Leah squatted down, gently hugging Nut. "I'll come back to see you. Small things have big courage." Nut clung tightly to her fingertip. The bear handed Leah a button. "Take this. Look at it when you miss us." The tin frog hopped over, rubbing her shoe. Leah walked toward the door, growing taller and taller. The moment she stepped through, she returned to her normal size. The backyard was just as she'd left it. She opened her palm. The colorful button was still there, warm like the memory light's glow. It hadn't been a dream. Just then, Mom pushed open the back door, calling, "Leah, dinner's ready." Leah quickly tucked the button into her pocket and ran over, smiling. At dinner, Leah secretly touched the button in her pocket, smiling to herself. She had a secret, just for her and the Toy Kingdom. Before bed, Leah placed the button on her bedside table. Moonlight shone on it, casting a faint golden glow, as if the Toy Kingdom was saying hello. Suddenly, the button wiggled. Leah opened her eyes. Whoa! Nut's little head peeked out from behind the button. I snuck out. Nut jumped into Leah's palm. Everyone in the kingdom wants to thank you. Leah took a candy from her drawer, handing it to Nut. Here, sweet, just like our adventure. Nut hugged the candy, taking a small bite. His eyes sparkled. So sweet. I'll bring some back for everyone. Dawn was breaking. Nut jumped back into the button. I'll visit often. Remember? Small things have big courage. The next morning, Leah woke up. The button was still on her bedside table, with a tiny paw print on it, Nut's mark. From then on, Leah often squatted by the backyard grass, talking to the button. She knew her friends in the toy kingdom were always there, because she'd never forget. No matter how small you are, courage can work miracles. Small things have big courage, and in the toy kingdom, Nut and his friends shared the candy, waiting for their next adventure with Leah.